Hey.
They send it, oh, they don't have to pass it.
They said it'll have a couple days.
But they come back.
We're not used to that kind of stuff in this country.
What time's
So
that?
blind,
Same time.
Did you try
Where's
it?
that?
what was it for?
4 o'clock.
I know we're gonna pay for some of that stuff that, that's what it's supposed to. We're rocking out some stuff, so you can figure it out.
Are we supposed to do that?
It's us. We had it good for a long time. Okay. We had it good for a long time. So two Aaron and grow up, almost from horses to airplanes, you know. So, for years. My grandpa grew up with horses.
Ready, Rob?
Okay, it's 6 o'clock and we'll start this meeting in order with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everybody for coming. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the July 18th, 2022 meeting?
I'll make that motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any agenda amendments? Okay, thank you. Approval of the July 2022 expenses. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, old business. Okay, no old business. New business. Motion to approve or deny expenses for the attendance at PSAT's Fall Engineers Virtual Seminar. Matt Jonas will be attending that.
I'll make that motion for approval.
And I'll second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve or deny expenses for attendance to the PST-CA convention. Debbie Cameron will be attendance for the tax collectors.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Land development, Tammy?
Sure. We'd like to go over the developers agreement and the stormwater operation maintenance agreement with the Pennsylvania State Police Troop.
So we've negotiated a developers agreement with the Department of General Services, much of which is going to be constructed by the Department of General Services. The development will be constructed by the Department of General Services, but then maintained by the state police. So this is actually a multi-party agreement between Summit Township, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, acting by and through the Department of General Services and the Pennsylvania State Police. It is somewhat of a standard developers agreement. However, there are certain terms and conditions within the standard developers agreement that do not apply to the Commonwealth. And so many of those were, not many, they were all removed, such as the need for the financial security. Typically, we require financial security of the developer to ensure that they complete the development. Here, the Commonwealth has requested it, and as is permitted by the law, it is suggested that that be waived, as they don't need to provide us with financial security to make sure it's going to be done. And with respect to the fees, the Commonwealth does not enter into traditional escrow agreements with us, and so they pay fees based on expenses as we get them although they did send us a $5,000 advance on that, although it's not a traditional escrow. Additionally, with respect to the stormwater management systems and the stormwater management agreement, we have the Department of General Services that is going to be constructing the stormwater management systems, and the Pennsylvania State Police maintaining it after construction. And with respect to the township expenses that we do have in terms of legal, engineering, and other fees that are incurred during the land development, the Department of General Services asked that we attach our standard fee schedule to the document, and they have limited the amount of fees that they can receive to be up to $5,000, that they can be charged up to $5,000. So they wanted to see that we had reasonable fees associated with it. Once upon a time, I used to work for the Department of General Services in the Bureau of Real Estate, and the number of times that municipalities would try to soak the Commonwealth with fees, very memorable to me. So for them requesting that fee, the standard fees with this is quite the practice on their part. With respect to the stormwater operations management agreement, once again, it's pretty much a standard deal with the financial security provisions removed, as we're not going to hold, as we can't hold the Commonwealth to those financial security provisions. So where you see a bond amount and a typical amount of $1 million, you're going to see a big zero in there, and that is intentional.
Okay, what kind of action do we need to take on that at this time?
So what we would be requesting would be a motion to approve those land development agreement and the developers agreement and the stormwater operations and maintenance agreement. Once that is approved, then we'll be able to send that down to the Department of General Services.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
I got a question. With this, in regard, you said you can't make the state whole, like when a developer wants to build a subdivision and they've got to build a stormwater pond, we make them put money up to make sure the pond is built, and if they don't, Matt hires somebody to finish the job to the specifications and do it. What happens if the state, not that the state's going to back out, but how do we protect ourselves if they don't do that? Can we keep them from going into that building if they don't build the pond to the specs that need to be built to?
Yes.
Question.
I mean, the Department of Labor and Industry will issue the certificate of use, the certificate of occupancy, and the builders. They'll do all the inspections. However, we would have the ability to entertain an action in mandamus, it's called, which would be a court action to force them to complete that which they're obligated to complete.
Okay, just so we don't get hung out, or somebody gets stuck, because there's a lot of problems, it seems, with stormwater management ponds or retention areas. And
Say primarily with the private end of things, kind of like with
Right,
the
I
roundabout, the stormwater ponds that went in there, similar, Matt?
For the roundabout, all the stormwater ponds were constructed within PennDOT right-of-way, so we had no jurisdiction on those whatsoever.
And they will be maintaining those.
They would be operated and maintained by the state.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Yeah.
Okay, Debbie, or Tammy?
Okay, the next item we have on the agenda would be the Commonwealth of PA Department of General Services Land Development Plan located on Oliver Road. Parcel ID number 401672, 30.11 and 30.02 in the industrial district, as you can see on the screen. We are proposing a 63,500 square foot, two-story building, fuel stations, associated parking for the new Pennsylvania State Police Headquarters Troop E. We do have a gentleman here representing this land development plan.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Greg Schrock. I'm with L.R. Kimball, now Trans Systems, and I can go into detail on what we're doing with the plan, if you like. On the western side of the property is Oliver Road. It goes north to south. As you proceed in east, you have two entrance drives, one to the north and one to the southern end of the property. The northern end goes back to the impound yard, which will be fenced with slatted barriers on the fence to keep it screened per the Planning Commission's recommendation. The southern end is mainly access, just another access to get into the parking lot, back to the fuel station, which is almost dead center in the plan, and then a cul-de-sac to turn around large trucks that be delivering fuel to the fuel station. The public parking will be on the western side along the front of the building, and on the eastern side you have staff parking, and if budget permits we might have some covered parking to help with the snow during the snowstorms in the wintertime. As far as grading, stormwater management, utilities, we have electric coming in from Oliver Road. We have sanitary and water coming in from Oliver Road. Both of those require an HOP from PennDOT. We've acquired both HOPs. Likewise, the two driveways require an HOP, which we've also acquired from PennDOT. You see the blue areas throughout the site, those are wetland areas. We're disturbing a little over an acre of wetland with this development. That was sent to the DEP and approved. We have a permit for disturbing that wetland area. Likewise, we sent the plans to the Conservation District and they have been approved and an NPDES permit has been issued. We control the site with several rain gardens, you could say. They're actually called managed release concepts, which since we don't have much infiltration, if any, on the site, what they do is they slow down the water to a real slow rate and gently leave it go off the site. And that's located on the western side. One of them is along Oliver Road. One of them is just south of the, I guess, the pistol end of the building, if you want to call it. And the other one is just to the east of the fuel station island. In addition to the volume control within those three rain garden MRC facilities, those will all drain down in the bottom left-hand corner along the road. There will be an underground detention system that's going to slow down the water to pre- and post-development flows before it's released from the development. I think that's pretty much the project in a nutshell, if there's any questions.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the land development plan, parcel 40-16-72, 30.11, 30.02.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it, Tim?
Yep, that's it.
And Mr. Solicitor?
I have nothing.
Thank you.
Engineer Jones?
I have a couple things here tonight. The first is kind of a blast from the past here. The municipal building, when it was constructed in 2013, we were required to get an NPDES permit. With conversations with the Conservation District, that permit was never closed out. So I'm in the process of working on the notice of termination form to close out that permit. Included with that, we'll have to have a recorded instrument. So basically the stormwater management plan would have to be recorded. This development was done before that was a requirement, so we do not have a recorded stormwater plan. So I'm going back through the old drawings. I sent a drawing over to Gene to see if it would suffice to meet the requirement for the recorded instrument. So basically it just shows where the stormwater facilities are and goes through the maintenance requirements. And then another thing, I have to sign off as a professional certification that everything was constructed and is being operated, and then we'll need someone from the township to sign off on the notice of kosher here. The other thing is been working with Tim regarding orphan pond guidelines and guidance for possible grant. And then on Friday, we had our bid opening for the broadband project. We received one bid from VNet in the amount of $341,560.63. This is over our estimated cost that we were anticipating of $210,000. So again, Tim's looking into the validity of the bidding process and the bid to make sure everything's okay, and we'll kind of turn back to it and discuss how to move forward. So,
And if I can just add to that, that's not to suggest that there's any question as to whether what was done was appropriate or not. The federal ARP guidelines have certain steps that you have to take when you receive only one bid in order to ensure that there is sufficient competition. So that's what we're taking a look at, less ominous.
sorry,
That's okay.
and that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, Supervisor Lee?
Thanks for coming tonight, and I myself welcome Pennsylvania State Police into our neighborhood. It's the center of Erie County. We're close to I-90 with a lot of state roads, so I think Summit's well worthy of it, and that's all I have.
Mr. Davis?
Parks update, we are working on resurfacing the volleyball court at Picnicana. It needs it, so the cracks are being repaired now. And then there's going to be a 4-layer coating that's going to go over it to give it that nice look. I don't know, it's almost like a rubbery polymer type surface, so it's what everybody's been doing lately. It's going to turn out really nice if we ever get 4 nice days in a row that we have manpower to do it. And I guess one note about the police, I have a handful of problems with the parks at night, and I have to say those guys respond very quickly when I have a problem, and they've been very helpful, so look forward to working with them in the future, and hopefully we don't have too many problems, and none of them have been super serious. We've had people get locked in the park and things like that, but that's about it. The ADA swing is completed now, it's up and ready to go. I don't know if anyone's used it yet, but that's turned out to be nice. That's really about it. Thanks for coming.
Pavement project, short paving's completed. We did a little bit of paving over on Elk Creek Road, spot patching by the bridge and culvert. And we just started on the east side of Route 19, working our way west. We'll be over there this week. Not completely paving the road, but picking up the edges, trying to make them all 2% cross slope. So that road's about 5% right now. So working over there. We did a little bit of work with Waterford Township this spring, helping them out. And they've loaned us their mini excavator for a couple months anyways. So we're trying to do some field pitches that are all silted in. Got a few little projects that we just can't get our backhoes out onto to do the work. So it's working out pretty nice. Just a little intermunicipal agility program, and seems to be working well. So public input. 3 minutes, please. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.